either that day. I don't learn them in advance. Principally because I get too critical of the way it's written, and I'll want to start changing more. I also, what I'll do, I'll get the script, I'll read the script, because I want to know where it's going, so I can let that sit. And then I'll look at if I've got any huge chunks of dialogue that I know I'm going to have down really well, so I know I need maybe a little more time. But I can learn the script now, like scenes pretty quick. You give me like a 3-page scene, I'll read it twice when I got it. And because I don't try and learn the words, you know, that's the thing. You just don't learn the words. As I was saying earlier, you have to understand what we're saying. It's what's my intention, what am I trying to get out of this? And if you have a well-written scene, every character should have a through line with a motivation, and there's a scene of action they're trying to accomplish.
But I always said there's no such thing as bad writing, only bad actors.
Oh, this is true, because you know what's funny, you can ask the producers, they'll say, right, you can ask the producer on our show, they'll say, writing makes a scene. And I'll say, well, you know what, before you guys turned up, and there are other writers, because you never want to offend the current writers, you know, we've had some pretty bad scenes that we made work.
Dude, you probably experienced you'd be sitting around a fucking table, doing a read, and you know, there'll be, because I've done my advanced reading of the material, and there's lines upcoming, and I'm going, I have no idea how this actor's gonna fucking deliver this, and I'm just waiting for it because I know it's written so bad, and all of a sudden the actor will say the lines, and I went, it works.
The easiest way to take bad dialogue is do nothing with it. Just say it as simply as possible. Don't put any heat on it. Don't try and spin it. Just say the dialogue. It's funny, I had a table read. I booked this ABC show a couple of years back, and we had a table read at Disney where ABC is, and there was at least 40 ABC executives in the room, and everyone was lined up.
And everyone with an opinion.
No one laughed. It was a comedy. Not a person laughed. No one laughed at all, and you could feel the room just getting. Oh my God! And I'm so glad I wasn't a series regular on that. I was just coming for a guest spot, because I was like, I couldn't imagine being on a show where you know the executives don't think it's funny. They canceled the show after the pilot, so the show actually, the episode was meant to do. They never shot it and aired it. So you know, it's like anyway, yeah. Being an actor, the number one thing you need is tough skin. Tough skin, don't take it personally. It's true. Because originally you'll go out for an audition for something, and it was to be like Australian 6'2", short brown hair, you know.
And the role went to D.
And DTEFLON again. And it's because he walked in the room, and they go, that's the guy. And all of a sudden you were there like, you'll sit there, and I used to actually wait to see who got the job, and I'd watch it, or I'd, you know, TiVo or whatever, and I'd be like, so who got the job? Like, how, they must be better than me. And you watch it like, dude, they sucked. Like, what happened? You know, and you realize it's just, you can't take it personally. You can't. If you can do that, then you'll be okay.
When there have been plenty of times where like I've walked into an audition room and I've seen everyone was the opposite of my demographic. And I'm like, am I in the right place?
Yeah.
But then I've changed, you know, people's minds where they're like, you know what? We're just gonna make this work, or like, you know, and then vice versa.
It's usually a combination of two things: a great fucking casting director and a great fucking agent. Truthfully, meaning if you're in a room that doesn't feel right, that your agent is able to have a conversation successfully to get them to think about you differently. And the casting director, truthfully, has also went, you know what, let's look against that, let's look at something that's different. And ultimately, you can be differentiated from the rest of the competition as a result of having that good quality.
That was me when I walk, I'm like, oh, I gotta bring, like, be all my A game here, because like, I definitely know what's different. I gotta step it up, because there's a reason why I'm here, as opposed to doing anything.
Dude, the shittiest audition I ever had, ever. I've had actually the two shittiest auditions I've ever had.
Is that when you auditioned for Men in Black? Men?
I'm a little slow today. It hasn't got to me yet. It's just traveling across the table still. Okay. I auditioned for this movie, and the girl they hired to read the dialogue, and this goes back to casting directors as well. A good casting director, there's a casting director called Edna Webster. She did Lost, she did Alias, she does I think Person of Interest. She did all the big action movies where, like Independence Day, and after that, all the J.J. Abrams movies, all the Star Trek movies. She does everything, and she doesn't hire anybody to read. She'll read with you. And if the character's meant to be crying and bleeding, she'll be on the floor crying and bleeding. So it's really bizarre. So you walk into a room to audition for something, and like I used to always think, if I make it believable in the room, they'll realize on the day on the set I can make that work too. But they don't want that. They want you to go in and go, oh my God, the aliens are coming. So this casting director hired this girl to read this scene, and it was a man who had got caught. He was a teacher, and he got caught having an affair with a student. He was getting fired from his job, and my boy. Oh, that's you calling the casting director? You know, you knocking on the and then my wife was going to leave, so I was meant to lose everything. So I'm doing the scene with this girl, and literally, she's got the sides in her hand, like pages, and she's like, you cheated on me with that girl. So I don't say a fucking word. So I'm just sitting there. I'm just waiting for her to look up and look at me. She doesn't do it. The director's sitting there, we're just sitting there, I'm just sitting there. At this point, I'm like, fuck. So I'm sitting there. And then finally she looks up. So I'm like, okay, so then I'll answer her. And then she'll look back down and read again. And in the end, I looked to the director, I said, is this a joke? I said, because seriously, this is for your cat, this is for your client to read with this. I was like, no, I need to read on this. I said, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't want to be part of your project. I got up and walked out. And my agent got a call. He's like, what happened? I told him what happened. She can't do it. I said, well, you know what? I can't sit there with it. I just can't do it, so I did it. The other, what was the the other one was, this was the worst one. So I went to read for Dexter, for the lead role of Dexter. And, do you guys have Dexter up here? Yeah. And, so I'm sitting outside the executive producer, his office, and I'm sitting outside like there's some chairs and in there, so I'm going to read the producer. So I'm sitting aside, and he's on the phone. That's what he says. I don't give a fuck who's coming over to read. I don't want to see him. He goes, Rick, I want to cast, what's his name? The guy who played the Kevin Peter Horner or whatever it was. No. Was it Michael C. Hall? Okay, Michael C. Hall. I want Michael C. Hall. That's who I fucking want.
That's exactly what you need to hear right from
And I'm sitting out there, and then all of a sudden he clicks on the phone, and then his assistant goes, he's waiting for you now. I was like, oh, man. So you're going to walk in and go and do it, you know. Just walk straight. Yeah, bye.
Well, think of it this way, if you got the lead role, you wouldn't be here today.
This is true. Look, I'm a big believer in destiny.
Yeah.
And I believe everything happens for a reason, because when I look at my life, and at one point, I went back and I looked at all the events that led me to where I am now, and there was a couple of events that took place when I was like 21. That's just the direction life went. I think we all do that. If we all look at our lives, you could have gone left, but you went right. So here's where you are. It's what you're doing. So, you know, there's no point. I don't believe in regret.
The awesome thing about it, where you can ride. I would say, actually, in production, the one thing an actor should never have on stage with them is a baby or a dog. But everything shuts down. No, I was going to say about a golf. The interesting thing about it was no one in the world can tell you how to reach a goal until you got there. Because you look back once you've arrived, I would never have been able to piece all of that stuff together. That person, that experience, that day, that night, whatever it is. And you can hindsight, you just have to know where you want to go. So no one can tell you.
That's true. It's true. Like if I look at my character on Young and the Restless, and if you said to one head writer 10 years ago, craft this character that goes on this journey, there's no one who would have come up with all the things I've done. So having 6 or 7 different head writers constantly rewrite, constantly change a character, it makes everybody go, wow, that is a really interesting ride you've had. Like your character's really interesting, the things they've done. But it's just happenstance. Because one head writer wants this, the other one wants that, and they change that, and they get rid of that, and when you step back and look at it, it's kind of crazy. But you couldn't have laid it out in one continuous thought. You know?
For example, your layers when you started off more of a guy serious, always when we had, we kept pushing.
Right.
Krishna, you had Amber,
And they put me with Heather for a little bit when Vale was there.
exactly. And for yourself, in the sense of the layers of how you've grown, where the bad boy, who's been the romancer, who's been the business owner, who's been the anger king.
Right.
What would you feel for yourself, like, from all the layers of his hand? And even, for example, you had the rivalry with Billy, and then you had the rivalry in the sense that you wanted to down with Scott.
Right.
Ultimately.
Right.
What would you feel for yourself as being the best layers of showing your performances as an actor and the things that you most enjoy out of all the stories?
Well, I mean, I think it changes. Like when I started working on the show and they put me with Amber, then Kane had this breakup scene with Amber. The people either loved him or hated him for where he hit her and then dumped her. He was kind of malicious about it because she'd been playing him. I mean, the way I played that back then is different than how I play it now because I've changed and grown as a person.